Hello and welcome to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on the brand new parking director for the City of Lynn. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And first of all, would you just mind introducing yourself for the audience and saying a little bit about the role of the parking director?
Sure. So my name is Jessica Chiappini. I am the new city parking director, and my role here is to enforce the city's parking rules and regulations.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for our slight technical difficulties in the beginning, but we're pushing through. I like it. So, speaking of rules, you mentioned that is one thing you have a lot of experience with. You were an ordinance enforcement officer before this, and how did that transition go from that to parking director?
I was the city's ordinance enforcement officer for a little while. I heard through the grapevine that Bob may be retiring, and I was like, that is the role that I want, because it's, again, enforcing rules and regulations just in parking versus city ordinance. So that's how that came about.
And some of them, they were changed a little or weren't being enforced as much through COVID, so now coming out of that, or a few years after it, how have you been making sure that those ordinances are still enforced and really telling people about them?
So coming on and coming out of COVID, a lot of rules and regulations weren't being enforced for whatever reasons. Coming on, I had to pick up where Bob Stillian left off, which was implementing, or I don't want to say implementing, a new resident parking permitted system. It's just, it's being updated. It's going digital by license plate, and there's a fee to it, which people don't like. So I had to take that on. You had to
go, all right, here we go, jump right in.
Jump right in, head first.
So now that it is all digital, there also is a brand new portal that you launched. So is that how people go on and register, or how does that work?
Yes, so there is a new portal that every resident who, I first want to say that this system of resident parking isn't for every street in the city. Mm-hmm. I did get a lot of calls of upset residents who thought that I was making every residential street resident parking. That's not the case. If your street doesn't have a resident parking only sign, then this doesn't apply to you. Mm-hmm. Only streets that have resident parking ordinances have to go on to the new portal, create an account that would be specific to them, pay the $20 annual fee, and register their license plate.
And what about for people who are visiting? Is it a similar process? They have to go online and register beforehand?
So you would just log back into your account. We're telling people that if you're having someone stop over for a couple of hours, there's no need to register. Mm-hmm. It's more if the person is going to be there overnight or for multiple days. You can go in. There isn't a fee for a visitor. You would update their license plate, and it would expire after a week. Oh. So if they stayed longer than the week, then you would just have to go in and re-enter it. Otherwise, you can just leave it, because most guests don't stay longer than a week.
Yeah, most guests, you're going, okay, move on,
It's time
please.
to go.
Yeah, it's time to go home.
Absolutely.
And I'm curious, since it is all virtual and you don't, like have a sticker on your car, how do you know who's registered and who isn't?
So that was one of the reasons why the city has gone digital, is because besides it not being enforced, it was also being duplicated. People were making fake stickers, getting colored copies for the passes and putting them in the window, so there was no way to tell. So now it's by your license plate. We have license plate readers, they're called, that are on the city cars, and you ride by and it reads the license plate. It scans the license plate, and it will alert us if it's registered or not.
That's actually really cool.
It is cool, right? And if the license plate readers don't work, they can also, on their phones, their handhelds, scan the license plate, and it will read it for them. And I do want everyone to know that where it's still kind of new, because we just started in January, and there's so many streets that are resident parking, that we're giving warnings first. If it's the first time that our ordinance officer has gone down a street, he's issued a warning that looks like a citation, but it will just say, this is a warning, please register, and then it will have one of our flyers to register.
Okay, great. So you give people a little bit of leeway on that in case, like you said, it's so new, maybe someone hadn't gotten to it.
Absolutely.
And another thing too is for city lot permit parking. That's another thing that people can do. Let's say if they work downtown, if they have to drive downtown for any reason. Can you talk about the different passes people can get?
Sure. So another part of the permitting system is the municipal lot permits. And not only are workers downtown applying for the permits, but residents. With all the new high-rises, the city has implemented a new 3-tier system, which is a day pass or a night pass. Those are each $50, or you could get a 24-hour pass in one of the lots, and that is $100 a month.
Okay, that makes sense. And which lots do these apply to?
So the Buffum Street lot, which is located on Buffum Street, is a permitted lot only. So that particular lot, we don't have a kiosk. You have to have a permit to parking there. So that has all 3 types of passes. Then there's the Andrew Street lot, and that has both a kiosk and we offer permitted passes in there. Then there's the Wyoma Square lot, that's just kiosk. There's really not any passes in there, although we do offer some of the local businesses some passes because they need somewhere to park. But other than Buffum Street, that's the only really all permitted lot.
Like you need the permit to park.
That you need the permit to park, and you have to go onto the portal to register, and you can pay monthly by that.
Mm-hmm. And for people who have any questions, what are the best ways for them to ask? Online, calling, coming in?
Yeah. So they can get in touch with us by calling us at the Lynn Parking Department at 781-586-6868, or they can email us at parking@lynnma.gov.
And I'm curious, going in, are there any really common questions you get asked or common concerns that seem to come up a lot for the parking department?
As far as the permitting system, it would be, is this for every street? Mm-hmm. As far as the lots are concerned, it would be more, I didn't pay to park there before, so why do I have to pay to park there now? A lot of things weren't enforced that are being enforced now, and I'm just gonna say that it was due to COVID that they weren't being enforced, but there's rules and regulations for a reason, and we have to enforce them, especially with so many people living downtown now.
Oh yeah, it's exploding, it's bustling, there's a lot of
It's
people.
happening, right?
Yeah, it is happening. And I'm gonna pivot a little bit. You're the first female Black parking director, and I saw you on that Trailblazers panel, and I love the analogy you gave of if someone opens the door a little bit, you kick it all the way open.
You gotta kick it open. Kick it open and stay in the room, right?
Right. I love that. Where did you come up with that? Did you think of it spur in the moment?
I think it just came up. Because it's the truth. You can be given an opportunity, right, to be in a position which I have been given an opportunity. The person that I worked for before opened doors for me, allowed me to get in the room, and I kicked it open.
Which is it? I just love that. I went home and was like,
you're like, I'm gonna kick the door open.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You're doing that here. You're doing that here.
We try a little bit here. And I gotta ask, for people who are, coming up behind you and get these positions, what would you say to them, keeping that door open for others?
I say make the connections within City Hall. Our mayor now has so many programs and group meetings at City Hall for employees to just be part of it and always reach back.
It's all about, you want to make it a cycle. You get somewhere, you help someone else, and they help another person.
Absolutely.
And well, you're coming into your first summer too, which is going to be a lot of festivals, a lot of craziness. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling good about it. I'm actually kind of excited about the lots because so many people are like, oh, we have to pay in the lots now. They look like crap. So I'm excited that we're going to hopefully have youth workers that can help us update the lots, beautify them. I put a couple of planters in some of the lots, so hopefully we can have some nice flowers in there and just make it more appealing. Maybe put some more lighting, do those types of things.
Do all those kinds of things. And I do have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else that you wanted to mention or any points I didn't hit?
No, I think that's all. I just want residents to know that our door at the parking department is always open. We're trying to be friendly. I know people don't want to come to the parking department and you don't want tickets, but we're here to help you through that.
And you're definitely taking great steps in that, making yourself and your staff more visible. So I want to thank you again for coming on and talking about it.
Thank you.
Of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.